Hello everyone. In this video, let us try and understand the difference between Europe, European Union and Schengen Zone. More often than not, all these three terms have been used interchangeably, which is kind of incorrect. And we will see in this video why these terms are not to be used interchangeably and what does each of these terms mean. Now let's begin with Europe. Europe here is the easiest to understand. Europe is one of the 7 continents of the world, and Europe continent has a lot of countries. And how many countries? It has 44 countries. So if we divide Europe geographically, there are 4 regions: Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, and Northern Europe. So if we look at the division, there are 9 countries in West, 10 countries in Eastern Europe, 15 in Southern Europe, and 10 countries in Northern Europe. So I think this is very easy to understand that, what does the term Europe mean? If anyone were to ask you, you can simply say that, Europe is a region, geographical region, which is one of the continents of this world. Now, apart from these 44 countries that are part of the continent Europe, there are some transcontinental countries as well. These are the countries which have their territory in both Europe and Asia. We know that Asia is again one of the 7 continents of the world. It is in fact the largest continent. And these transcontinental countries are Russia, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia, and Cyprus. Please note that these countries do not lie entirely in Europe. Let us try and see some of the countries that are part of the continent Europe. As we mentioned earlier, that it is broadly categorized into 4 geographical divisions. So in the Western Europe, here in the West, you would find countries like Austria, Germany, Belgium, France, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Monaco, Netherlands, and Switzerland. So this makes the western part of the continent. And now if we look at the northern part of the continent, we have countries like Denmark, Estonia, Iceland, Finland, Ireland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, Sweden, and the United Kingdom. And there is a point to remember here that countries Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, all these together are called the Baltic states. Now let us look at some of the European countries that are present in the southern region. These are Albania, Andorra, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Greece, Italy, Malta, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Portugal, San Marino, Serbia, Slovenia, Spain, and Vatican City. So far we have understood the meaning of the term Europe, and now we'll move on to understanding the term European Union. Now, as the name suggests, that this is some sort of a union happening in the continent of Europe. Now, there is a point to realize that many countries in the continent of Europe are relatively smaller than other countries in other continents. So to establish their significance at the World Forum, many of these countries have joined to form a union, which is called the European Union. It's essentially a political and an economical union. And as a union, it has 3 arms: European Commission, European Parliament, and Council of European Union. European Commission acts as the executive, and European Parliament acts as the legislative. Now, each member state, as in each member country of European Union, has its own government, and each member country has autonomy over many aspects of their policy making. For example, foreign policy. So you would expect each country to have its own individual foreign policy. However, when they are making policies for trade, agriculture, and regional development, they have to follow a common norm. And as of today, there are 19 member states that use the same currency, which is euro. And these 19 member states of the European Union, which use euro as their currency, are called Eurozone. They are members of Eurozone. So here is the map of European Union, and there are about 27 member countries in the European Union. Now, Like we know that there are 44 countries in Europe, and not all 44 countries are part of the European Union. And so these countries like Albania, Andorra, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Bosnia, Georgia, the names mentioned here, these countries are not part of the European Union, but they are part of Europe. So now let's understand Schengen area. I'm sure if you have ever traveled to France or Germany, or if you have ever got your Schengen visa, there must be a point where you would have gotten confused between European Union, Europe, or Schengen. So now let's just understand what the term Schengen area means. Now, Schengen area is a zone. It's essentially a travel zone which is made up of 27 European states, as in countries. And this area allows for free movement of people between the member countries. So, for example, if you cross an external Schengen border, for example, if you're traveling from India to France, then you can enter any of the 26 Schengen countries without further passport checks at the border. And here is a point to note that the term Schengen in the Schengen area is named after the town of Schengen in Luxembourg. It is the place where the original agreement was signed in June 1985. Now, let's do a small recap. We have the continent Europe, and in that continent we have around 44 countries, and some of these countries are part of European Union, and some countries of Europe are part of Schengen zone. So there are 4 Schengen countries which are not part of European Union, which means that these 4 countries do not have common policy making in terms of their trade and economics as compared to other European Union countries. So these countries like Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein, these are all Schengen countries, but they are not part of the European Union. So here are examples of the countries that are in Schengen zone. So the countries in the Schengen zone are Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. So here is an update that Croatia, which is part of Europe, it's a country that's present in the southern Europe. It's now been confirmed that Croatia has passed its evaluation process, and it is set to join the Schengen in the near future, most likely by 2024. So here there was an attempt to make you understand the difference between Europe, European Union, and Schengen area. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.